Hello and welcome back to Fandom Fridays, where we proceed to check out all the fanfics that are not pony related. Why? Because, some days we need to check out the other fandoms and remind ourselves of this happy time that we need to explore. Escaflowne. The moment I said that, you guys are probably already humming the theme or thinking Yoko Kanno or seeing a guy with wings. Hey, no problem. It's an anime classic for a reason. And of course, you're probably wondering, if I'm introducing this, how do people fit Christmas into all this? Well, let's find out as we proceed to check out here at the Treeberry Memorial Library that is proud to present Christmas Wishes by Ill at Ease. Oh, the poor fellow. I don't know why they're ill at ease, but I hope this reading will make them feel better. Christmas Wishes by Ill at Ease. First chapter, only chapter. Hitomi smiled as he watched Mamoru tear into a present. It had taken all week to tear down her parents, but in the end, Hitomi and her brother convinced her to let everyone open one Christmas present on Christmas Eve. Yes, a Gundam! Mamoru shouted. Hitomi laughed at his excitement. She loved Christmas and looking around her family, she remembered why. Her parents sat next to each other on the couch, with smiles on their faces. Mamoru was now draped around their necks, hugging and thanked them for the wonderful present. Yukari and Amano were sitting next to a tree, watching the events with smiles big enough to mirror Hitomi's. Everyone was so happy at this time of year, and everyone she loved was here to celebrate the holiday. Well, maybe not everyone. Slowly, the smile faded from Hitomi's face. "I'll be right back," she said, trying to hitch a fake smile onto her lips. "I just need to get a little fresh air." She left the room, making her way towards the front door. She plucked her coat from the closet and continued on her way. Once outside, Hitomi stared up at the full moon. She remembered a mystical place where the moon and earth hung in the sky. It was a sight she hadn't seen for nearly 3 years. Every time she looked up at the earth, she could only think of returning home. Now that she was home, she could only think of Gaia. As she stared up at the sky, Hitomi began to think of the people she had met at Gaia. She thought of Milorna. Had Dryden returned to try to capture her heart again? Was she focused on ruling the Asturia with her sister Ares? Or had her attention turned back to Alan? Where was Alan now? Had he returned to his former post on the border of Asturia, maybe living in Pallas? Was he happy now that Selena had been returned to him? What of Sheed? How was he coping with ruling an entire country in his young age? And what about Merle? Would she be a young lady now? No. Hitomi thought, chuckling to herself. I don't think Merle would ever be a lady. She's much too wild to ever allow herself to be called a lady. Or certainly she'll grow into a beautiful woman. Finally, Hitomi's thoughts began to turn to the man she had been trying not to think about. Vaughn. Even whispering the name made her heart ache. 3 years ago, she knew she could never leave her family behind, even for Vaughn. Now she wasn't so sure. She loved her family and never wanted to be apart from them, but she also loved Vaughn. The years since she returned for Gaia had shown her that being without him was just as painful as being without her family. Hitomi closed her eye and her hand unconsciously traveled to the place where her pendant used to rest. She called out to her mind softly, searching for Vaughn. When she had first returned to Earth, it was easy to reach him. Sometimes even the thought of his name was enough to conjure her vision of him to see her. Now, she had to concentrate with all her might just to catch a glimpse of him. She wondered if her connection with Gaia and Vaughn was waiting. There! Hitomi had seen something. She had concentrated harder, and Demons resolved itself. Vaughn was sitting in the castle library, his face plastered with the open page of a rather large book. His eyes were closed, and his chest breath was slow and even. Hitomi felt herself smile. She loved to speak with him in her visions, but this was almost as good. It was so peaceful when he slept, and she was free to study his face without him noticing. She noticed that the angle of his chin had straightened a bit, and his hair was a bit shaggier than the last time she had seen him. As he watched, a stray clump of hair fell forward, covering his eyes. Hitomi reached out her hand, longing to smooth the ebony hair back to see his face again. But this was just a vision. No, it was real. Ow! 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 As much as she would like to be able to reach and touch Fawn, she would never be able to do so. Fawn's lips moved slightly as he began to mumble in his sleep. Hitomi leaned closer. It had been weeks since he heard his voice. Hitomi, he mumbled. I miss you. Hitomi smiled. Maybe their connection was as faded as he had imagined. I miss you too, Vaughn, she whispered. Hitomi began to feel her world pulling her back. A slight tug from just behind her eyes was warning that time was almost up. The last time she tried to ignore this, she woke up in her room after being unconscious for several hours. Slowly, she opened her eyes, severing the connection. As her own world came back into focus, she heard the soft clink of a door opening. Hitomi! Hitomi turned to see Yukari calling from her house. Come back inside before you freeze to death. Besides, it's your turn to open a gift. I'll be in a minute, she replied. She turned to look at the moon once more, thinking of the one Christmas present she wished for than anything. After a moment, she tore her eyes from the sky and back to her best friend, who was giving her a questioning look. Are you sure you're all right? Hitomi hesitated. Yukari and Amano were the only people she ever talked to about what happened on Gaia. They of all people would understand. But as she looked at her worried face, she would push that thought away. Yukari had been crushed when she disappeared. There's no way Hitomi could tell that she wanted to leave again. Hitomi pushed back another fake smile into her face. I'm fine, Yukari. Well, we better get inside before Mamoru opens my present for me. Yukari grinned, and the two girls made their way back inside, laughing and joking. Fawn slowly raised his head from his makeshift pillow, hoping none of the book's ink had smudged into his face. Another dream about Hitomi. It came so frequently now he was hardly surprised by it. Yet, somehow this dream had been different. It felt as if Hitomi was standing right by his side. Fawn shook his head, looking down at the book he had been attempting to read. I have plenty of problems here to worry about, he thought. Hitomi is never going back. I should just forget about her and concentrate on helping my country. It was no use. Every time he woke up from a dream about her, he tried to convince himself to forget. It would be best for his country if he could just forget her. In the end, however, he knew it was hopeless. No matter what happened, he would never forget about Hitomi. No, 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 no! Bad, Arthur! Bad, bad! You and this fic with them getting back together, or else I am going to cry! And Darcy's going to laugh at me. Anyway, nice, soft, sweet, sentimental, really romantic. Just what I need to close out the rest of the holidays. Well, see you guys in a couple of days. You know what I'm going to be doing? Presents. It's amazing what you can miss when you lose it. And you don't even really realize what it means to really lose it until it's gone. I probably should begin from the beginning. Sometimes some of my fondest memories and my earliest memories from Christmas have always been just sitting around my grandmother's house, waking up to the smell of cooking food of all sorts of recipes, or just it being ready roasted. Playing with my cats, my two dogs, and sitting in front of my TV playing Nintendo until my parents got home, along with my aunt and uncle and cousin. Then we would just sit around and they would talk. I would busy myself with some more video games or just whatever I wanted to do because that's who I was. I liked just messing around, creating stories, creating things, coming up with ideas. Then I would help give everybody their presents, and we would all open them. I would overhear the talks, and Grandma would say some weird stuff about life in general. Then they would all go home, and I would go with my mom and dad, and we would drive back through the forest and look at all the tree lights. Sometimes I would realize I ate too much on the way back, and I would puke on the street or in the car. The main thing I'm getting at is that I realized a lot of fond memories I had of Christmas had been spending time and watching stuff at my grandma's house, along with spending the best years of my life with my parents. She's gone now, and it hurts a little. I didn't think I would miss it sometimes, but generally I really do. I I am going to miss feeling just food, hearing, smelling the food cook, and I am going to miss some of the things she's done. We've had our fights, to be sure. Yeah, I had plenty of times to argue where it seemed like it felt like we were going to kill each other. And there were times when I was angry at her and I was mad. But I still loved her. And I know my family around here did too. We all cared about her. And what I'm also getting at is that in the last few years of her life, she was really annoying, but I still miss all the old times we had spent with her. All the things she used to do for us, and I'm going to miss that. It'll be the first time I'm going to spend Christmas without all these memories. And while I'm going to be making new ones, those old ones are still going to stick with me. And I'm going to miss her. Bye, Grandma. I miss you. I love you.